What is the other side of putting in your grind? I'm going to talk about that on this segment of the Gig Geezer. Well, today is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2024. I'm actually traveling down on I-20 heading back into my market, the Columbia, South Carolina metropolitan area. I just completed a UberEats order that was tacked on top of 2 last mile gig delivery orders. That stringing together orders amounted to about $94 earned. And you have little mini spurts like that in the course of a day, but how does that qualify as the other side of a grind? Well, quite naturally, if it's the other side of a grind, or the converse of a grind would be when you're having a really good day and the money's coming in and you're not the money's just coming your way. The converse of a grind is when you're making money almost hand over fist. You can almost call it easy money. I mean, you just have a good day. I could say yesterday probably would have been the opposite end of a grind, but there was some physical work involved, as I kind of pointed out in this segment of the Gig Geezer. But the other side of the grind is when you're having to navigate through a day in which you can tell, it's clearly obvious to you that your market is slow. And it doesn't matter which way you're looking. It could be the last mile gig delivery apps, or it could be the gig food delivery apps. It could be just no feelers out there in terms of cash game opportunities. And then for me, the added component of brokered opportunities. Nothing worth talking about. You start out the day, you leave the house like I did, 8 o'clock, 8:30 this morning. It's now 5 o'clock. It's not 5 o'clock. For the most part, I've been at it all day. The first hour and a half to 2 hours, nothing. But yet you're having to keep at it. You're telling yourself, you're encouraging yourself to stay at it, Just stay focused. Keep looking for something to happen. And for me, the first thing that happened was a gig food delivery opportunity on the Grubhub app, and that paid $10.04. It was, and as far as the driving distance from the pickup to the drop off was like 5-6 minutes, according to the app, about 1 point miles, like 1.8, 1.9 miles, and that kind of got things going, but nothing really to jump up and down about. It was still slow. But what I found myself doing on a day like this is that you're literally chasing money. You're chasing money from point A to point H, and then from point J back to point C, and everywhere in between. There's no continuity of what's going. There's no continuity. There's no rhythm that you can get into. Nothing like, say, as folk like to talk about, like 2-3 years ago, when there was that great demand of opportunities, and then all you had to do was kind of get into a little rhythm of order opportunities that was coming your way. Yeah, like that. You were able to discern which ones you thought were good, which ones you thought were bad. You could take some chances. Now it's quite the opposite. You might take a chance on the order, and that might be very detrimental for the rest of your day. Then again, you may miss out on the order opportunity, and that could be detrimental to your day. And it may even have some effects, some reverberating effects on your week. So, as I'm heading back into Columbia, as of this documentation, I'm at $181 and change. My goal, I feel, is my goal, or what I feel would be a winning day today, is if I can reach $200. Now, to me, reaching $200 would be my now needing 1, maybe 2 completed deliveries. I do that, I'm done for the day. But like I said, what was in between is what got me there. And so I can't speak for the next person, but I can sure speak for myself in terms of it's easy to say that the converse of a grind is when you have a good day or a big day. If that's the case, the converse for me was yesterday. I had 2 catering opportunities, and then I had a cash game opportunity that earned me over $550. Along those lines, the converse of that, the opposite of that, was actually Monday, when I had to pretty much do the same thing as I'm doing now. I'm actually putting in a similar day as Monday, in that I'm having to manufacture money. In fact, I believe that's another way of looking at the other side of a grind, is when you literally are having to manufacture your money in ways that really don't, there's no rhyme or reason to how you do it. So what I'm going to do at this juncture is focus now on finding the next one or two opportunities. And then once I get those next opportunities, and hopefully as well there's still daylight, I'm going to document those things and kind of go into some detail about why I accepted this order, these two orders, and then also close out this section of the Gig Geezer. And by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. Alrighty, so I had a few opportunities that appeared on my phone screen, and I'm just gonna show them right here what they were. There were about 12 opportunities that came across my phone screen, and these are just some of those 12 that I passed on. Yes, there was one for $31, but it was going 50 miles. Going from Columbia to Sumter. That's 50 miles. Okay. Then there was another one going for $23.05, going like 25 miles to a place where you're going to lose phone reception on the other side of Camden. I'm not going to do that. There was one that I missed of similar distance to the one that I'm about to show you what I accepted. It was 4 items paying $19, but it was from a place where there's a strong possibility you may not see all the items at that store, so you may lose on your tip. Now, what I am going to do now is turn into the parking lot of my next opportunity 2 items paying $18 on Instacart. And so we'll see what happens. Hopefully both items are here, but 2 items, $18, that's going to get me to $1.99, and it'll get me one order away from reaching what I figure is a win for today. So I'll show you what the items are when I get back to the F-150, and we'll continue the conversation. All right, I am minutes removed from having completed that Instacart order, at least the shopping phase. Apparently, I was not adept at finding items that should help a dog with constipation. That's what it amounts to. These are the items that you see on the inset. The offer amount was like $18.09. What I ended up doing was getting with one of the items, calling an audible, in that there was a 60 count. That's what the customer ordered, but they didn't have the 60 count, so I got the 75 count. And I'm thinking that they probably won't have any problem with that, since they got the pet. The pets had constipation now, may have constipation in the future, and so should help them out down the road. The relevance of my bringing up the 75 count is that on Instacart, your pay is sometimes dependent upon the final amount purchased. And so if there's a significant difference in the final amount purchased, that should be a reflection on your pay. So this is not a case of my looking out for my pocket. It just so happened that in the interest of finding something for the customer, I may see a little bump in extra pay, but we'll find out once I complete the order. Now, depending on how much it is, it may get me exactly the $200 for today. And if it does that, then it's a wrap. So the next time I resume this conversation will be from the drop-off location, which is heading actually to my side of the metropolitan area. One other thing that I should mention about the other side of the grind. On days like this, on a lot of days like this, even when the money is coming in, I am so focused on earning money. I really don't take care of myself like I really don't take care of myself as I should. I may keep stuff. I may keep water with me. I may keep liquids with me to remain hydrated. But in terms of eating, oh man, that's a different story. I mean, I've been chomping on these pretzels throughout parts of the day. But I know that's not going to get it, especially with all the mental activity that's involved with trying to remain sharp and looking for money as I do, and probably like you do. This is somewhat of a departure to what I usually have. Usually it's sunflower seeds. It's empty because I finished it off yesterday, or as my queen said, refers to them as bird seed. So usually it's bird seed, maybe lemon juice, maybe water, things like that. Maybe Fresca, sometimes a Mountain Dew. That is not the optimal stuff. The sunflower seeds are okay, and within moderation, pretzels, but overall, I mean, it's not like I'm really taking good care of myself while I'm out here. And again, for me, a lot of it is because of my preoccupation of finding money. And today, the hope was to find $200, and it looks like I'm on the precipice of reaching that number. Now, prior to this order, I mentioned I was at $181. The exact number is $181.64. So if this order pays $18.36, it's a wrap for today. So back to the food thing. Unlike everybody's different. You know, some folk, when they're concerned, they eat, and that is no knock against the the next person. And if you think, and that's no knock to the person who, when they're concerned, or they're trying to chase money, they feel they got to eat. I'm one of those, I guess you say, that I've disciplined myself in such a way in that if I'm going to eat is once I've actually earned the money, and then I'll stop and get something to eat. Now, admittedly though, when I do, there are days though where I know I have to stop and get something to eat, and those days are when I feel so, it's as if the best way I can describe it, it's as if I'm about to slide under the steering wheel. Then I know I got to get something to eat, and I have my share of days like that. But when I'm out there doing the brokered opportunities, even then I'm guilty of not eating as I should. Now, what I do on some occasions, I'll stop and get something to eat early on, and that pretty much holds me for the rest of the day. And then there are other occasions when I'll wait until after I've dropped off the brokered opportunity, the cargo, the items, and then I'll get something to eat then. So still, nonetheless, there's still this inconsistency in how I take care of myself. Now, hey, I know that I'm no spring chicken. I'll bear mentioning it again. I mean, hey, next year, I'll be Social Security eligible. I will be officially and chronologically, I will be an official geezer. So I should be more mindful of taking care of myself in that regard. I mean, admittedly, I do have a little concoction of items, of things that I do take throughout the week, and you know, I'd like to think that they've served me well. But again, if you're going to ask the question, how does this apply to you being out there on your grind and your hustle? Well, bottom line is that you got to take care of yourself. And then, you know, on days like this, when you're really, really working to find that money, For some of us, food is not a priority. That's the bottom line. So I am actually, from this point, because of traffic, probably less than 10 minutes away from dropping off this order. And at that point, that's where we'll resume the conversation. All right, so we are finished with this particular order. It turned out not to be a walk-off opportunity. The order had a flat tip, and so it paid exactly $18.08, leaving me at $199.72. Now, I've shown some segments of the Gig Geezer in the past where I'm right up on the cusp. I'm right up on the cusp of reaching a number, and I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to do a cheapie. I'm simply not going to do a cheapie. I got to do it the way that I've always done it. So there will be no cheapies. It's going to be done geezer style, as always. And so what I'll do is resume the conversation at the next opportunity. Truth be said, I was about ready to take an L. And I guess in this particular case, ego drove me to stay out a little longer just to say that I achieved a win by earning at least $200 more today. So what's the order that's going to get me there? The offer amount is $16.03 on UberEats. And I'm literally right down the street from the restaurant pickup. And so that's going to be the ball game for today. These are the numbers for today. And definitely on the other side of the grind. One last thought about that is what happens is that sometimes you stay out a little longer than what you'd like. Sometimes you'll take an order that you don't want to take. I will say that I was true to myself with accepting this order because it was $16.03. Well, $16.03. The drop-off location is about 15 minutes from here, and I can live with that. But the lesson to take from this is when you're on the other side of the grind in days like this, you're going to find yourself in situations that you normally don't like to be in. And in my particular case, I'm out longer than what I'd like to be on a day like this. But in order for me to get where I need to be, I'm having to put in a little extra time. And that extra time is probably by about 45 minutes today. It is getting darker. It is getting dark sooner. And so I'm gonna have to adjust for that because, well, hey, the fall equinox is Friday, so that's an adjustment I'm gonna have to make. But you get where I'm going with that. So, again, these are the numbers for today. This is the numbers for the week. This is the order that I picked up from here. And if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment of the Gig Geezer, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane, and as always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.